Can we blame Diana for Harry's failure? The fatal flaw made Meghan exploit the spoiled prince. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the King YouTube channel. As a young boy, he would wreck his tricycle into Staff's legs and he would trip Staff up with his little foot. He would make fun of a disabled teacher. And then later on, that's when the drugs started and the alcohol abuse. He would play around in Soho houses. He was photographed cavorting totally naked in Las Vegas hotels. And he was also wearing a Nazi uniform at costume parties. He would cheat on exams. Sarah Forsyth refused to pass his papers and she got fired. Then she ended up taking Eton to court and she won compensation. The same thing at Sandhurst Military School. His friends did all his work while the examiners looked the other way. I mean, the truth is, Harry has never been very bright. And then in Afghanistan, he was protected 24/7 by the most fearless, loyal, professional, valiant soldiers in the army, and he was playing video games in his bunker. He sent a few different Afghani ladies of the night into hospital because of some serious sadistic attacks. He would refer to his army comrades using racial slurs like Pakis, and there are so many more infamous allegations that would make Andrew look like an angel. One important thing to consider is who was supporting Harry in this behavior from the time he was a little boy up until around the age of 13. Well, it was Diana. She was the one who enabled him to really display most of his deficiencies. It's been reported that Diana never really punished him for his bad behavior. She would just laugh and she would tell him to be careful not to get caught. Now, staff working in the royal households were certainly not fond of Harry, even when he was a little boy. He was protected by the palace, and all of his more outrageous examples of bad behavior were downplayed and they were swept under the rug to protect his reputation as the son of the future king. Harry never had it so good, and then he told his family that he didn't care about them anymore, that they can just go to hell. So he and that piece of trash wife he married decided to step down from their royal duties and run off to California. And surprise, surprise, now it's all catching up with him, and he complains that he's suffering from some mental health problems. He's suffering from a severe case of arrested development. Mentally, Harry's still an angry 13-year-old, and he lacks the self-awareness, the discipline, and maturity to be able to help himself. Harry is trapped in this downward spiral, and I'm worried that it really is going to end in unspeakable tragedy. I'm also not a big fan of people trying to hide behind these professional diagnoses that they pay for. I don't care if it's ADD or ADHD or whatever. Bad behavior is not necessarily a part of these disorders. And it seems like so much was hidden from the public when it came to Harry's behavior. It all began when he was a little boy, and his mother was certainly complicit in it. Well, since he ran away from the palace, there's nobody to cover up for him anymore, and now it looks like we are seeing everything. I mean, his current behavior really demonstrates all his faults and shortcomings. His life has become a total catastrophe, what with the lying, the deceitful behavior brought on by, of course, his master manipulator of a wife, that nasty succubus who refers to herself as a duchess every chance she gets. She even sneaks in that title of princess when she believes it's going to benefit her. They need to watch it, though. They act like they are invincible, but they're not. I mean, Harry at this point has painted himself into a corner. I don't know how he's going to help himself out of this mess, but at this point he has burned bridges with everybody who ever cared about him, so he's going to have to figure out how to help himself. Harry and Meghan need to take those invisible children and they just need to go away. And my friends, this has nothing to do with any mental health problems. I mean, he may have some, but that's no excuse. He can't blame his mental health problems for being such a nasty bully. There is no excuse for the way he has abused people. Harry's a narcissist, I believe, and Meghan definitely is. Their behavior and their attitudes are absolutely appalling. Harry also likes to make up a bunch of stories about what his mother would be like instead of knowing for sure how she would react to him. He was a child when she passed away, and as a mother, she overindulged him. She shielded Harry from a lot of the negativity that she was feeling. There's no way that he could have known her as a senior royal or as the future king's wife. Diana had her own problems, she had her own struggles, but Harry didn't know anything about them. He does have TV interviews, he has tabloid stories, and of course Meghan's version of events to remember her by. But none of this stuff is helpful, and it's certainly not healthy. Now he views his father as the enemy because of his mother's infamous TV interview. But at one point in time, he did love his father, and he understood that his father loved him deeply. He was very close to his grandparents, too, especially his grandmother, the late Queen. And he also found the sister he never had in his brother's wife, Catherine. I remember when Charles and Camilla got married, Harry had a real smile on his face the whole time. But then Meghan slithered along with her toxic attitude and her delusions of grandeur. Meghan, the spoiled brat, Z-list actress from California, burst through the doors of Buckingham Palace, insisting that she was going to be the one to modernize the monarchy. Meghan was convinced that she was going to be a Disney princess and that she'd be able to turn a constitutional monarchy into a Disney park. Meghan was an actress, not a very good one. She was a suitcase girl, and apparently she had some other jobs too, like yacht girl. But none of these jobs helped her understand what it's like to be a diplomat. She didn't learn any manners. She doesn't have any understanding of the British people, and she knows nothing about history and tradition. But she already knew everything just because of who she was, so she wasn't going to accept advice from anybody. She was not going to learn the ropes from other senior royals, and she was never going to accept that palaces and royal residences are old and they've got a lot of antiques, priceless antiques. Not everything is filled with this minimalist beige stuff that Meghan likes. And that she couldn't even bring out her babies to show everybody because she had lied about how those babies came into the world or if they came into the world at all. But when she realized that she couldn't be top dog, that she was never going to be the star of the show, well, that's when she really pitched a hissy fit. She thought that she could have it all. Apparently, Meghan didn't bother reading the blurb on her own website. No, Meghan, you were never going to be able to pick and choose when you wanted to be a senior royal. Meghan was upset that she couldn't spend half the year in LA selling her titles for cash and then go back to her royal duties and have first dibs on the best engagements because she was just so glamorous and doesn't everybody love her? And then Harry was completely brainwashed, unable to think for himself if he ever was. His brain had been completely reprogrammed. Meghan couldn't risk him being loyal to his family and never complaining, so she had to make sure to bring him over to her side. And he ate it all up. So now, just like Meghan, he's a victim. And he only has his childhood memories of his mother. She never got past the indulgent stage. And he still clings to this idea that his mother would approve of his life right now, that she would just tell him, "Oh, poor Harry, you are right to be upset. They just don't treat you fairly. They don't see your greatness." Meghan was an actress. She played the part of the victim and an insane person. She basically is the royal Karen. Meghan can't get any new parts because she typecast herself. And I don't believe for 1 second that Diana would have given her the time of day. She wouldn't have been able to stand Meghan Markle. I don't even think Meghan would have gotten a chance to make her first curtsy if she had been introduced to Diana first. Because for all her faults, Diana was loyal to the crown. She loved the late Queen. She was raised in an aristocratic family, a family that really cared about the monarchy. Martin Bashir lied, and he cheated his way to get that interview. Poor Diana believed that she was under surveillance at the time. But Meghan's goal the whole time has been to destroy the reputations of the people who didn't indulge her twisted view of her own importance. Meghan underestimated the power of the royal family. She thought they were just a bunch of pushovers. She was thinking she could remodel the whole royal way of life. And then when she came face to face with the Queen, that's when she started her racist ranting and raving, the crying and the threats that she wanted to end her life. And let's not forget the oldest trick in the book, I'm pregnant. And so that meant that, of course, Harry had to marry her. He had no choice. The Queen should have told him no. She should have shown Meghan the door, and they could have just suffered the consequences of Harry pitching a little hissy fit. If Harry believes that he is so vital to the family at this point, and his standing as a prince is still intact, then he needs to wake up. His behavior is appalling and shameful. So, alright, fine, pay Meghan whatever she wants just to go away once and for all. Get some nice girl to marry him and insist that he live a quiet, private life out of the media. And you, do you agree with me? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. If you preferred our video this evening, don't be afraid to like and share it with anyone else who would enjoy it. Please don't forget to subscribe to our The King YouTube channel to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely evening, and we'll be back to see you tomorrow. Bye. I love you all.